There's a harem of men that want her, but none of them can have her though because she's
technically the original Mulan and the story of Mulan is a harem anime.
Yes, I think you're actually correct.
Mulan is technically a harem anime.
So Mulan was the original harem anime.
What is the word? It is Lord Third, your number one trash player, a.k.a. Linus Bay, a.k.a. the Garbage Goat, a.k.a. the Lord with no beard.
There we go. No longer the bearded baby. We just call him now the baby. Along with the baby, it's the King of Dreams, looking mean and clean with his 9 or 10 rings, or known as the Ranger. Nothing new but the danger. And we are
the SLY Guys, delivering the hottest of hot takes on all things nerdy in culture. And boy, oh boy, it has been a week. Hasn't it been a week, King?
It's been I don't even know how long it's really been. This is day 19 of quarantine, of the lockdown. My days are starting to blur together. I'm starting to talk to inanimate objects in my apartment. I don't know about you. What do you think there, B12? Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, it's just a bit rough, and they have here in Michigan they have extended the stay at home, all for good reason, because I would prefer less people. All in all, there are going to be some people that die. That's the unfortunate truth, but I would rather less people die. I'd rather.
I thought you were going to say something. I thought you were going to say something way more sinister than that. I thought you were really building up to something way more sinister.
No, I've these past few weeks have given me time to think about being a less sinister. I'm just kidding. Like, I'm not. I have no sinister desires here in all of this.
He can't even say it with a straight face. But as we all try to survive this pandemic, we're all trying to stay in the positives. Like, for example, feats by Shaolin monks and iron testicle feats, or creating new heroes.
New
like
heroes,
Marvel.
New heroes. What new heroes do you have for us today? Well, kids, if you were looking forward to new Marvel heroes, we have some new warriors for you. Introducing.
Oh, what are the new warriors?
Snowflake. And Safe Space. And
Safe Space?
Screen Time. Along with his pals, B Negative.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
What the hell?
I can't even get through this bit with a straight face.
See,
oh bug.
Let me tell you. So it's one thing. Goodness gracious. How many? I think we need to take more than one step back.
For those that
we might need to take several hundred steps back to back away from where we are right now.
Take all the steps back. Let's take all the steps back. Now here's what's interesting. So it's Marvel's New Warriors. Now, first off, you know this, it's a reboot. I don't know what.
Yes.
It's true. A reboot with entirely new characters. So, let's think. Like, to me, when I first heard that, I thought that it's a whole new show. Like,
Well, it's like any superhero team. Like you have new heroes, you have different heroes, different people in the lineup. Like the Avengers, like we say the Avengers, and like most people probably just think, oh, Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Hawkeye, Black Widow. That is just because of the movies. There have been multiple lineups of almost every like independent hero in Marvel's lineup has been the Avengers. Yeah, same thing with the X-Men. That lineup changes.
100%. Same thing with the X-Men.
Lineup changes. You know, and then you got Justice League Unlimited. Damn, everybody is in the Justice League.
Well, don't everybody. You don't even need.
Like
powers
this is our licensed counselor.
Powers, no powers, broke. Like we just,
bro, the drama.
Can you imagine being the licensed counselor on that ship and just hearing some of the things that people
you
say?
have to endure being a licensed counselor for the Justice League, or for any superhero team for that matter. I can only imagine. You got to be getting paid. I mean, you got to think about it. You got like Oliver Queen, Bruce Wayne, and all these other like rich people that are paying your bills. You got to be making money.
Well, first off, I want to make sure we clear this up. I'll get your opinion. Is Batman paying for all of this, for all of it, or are they getting some kind of other government?
I mean, I think it's a.
Because we don't really talk about that.
I don't know who's footing that bill. I mean, I know that Wayne Corp has to have the money for it. Who pays the Justice League's bills? Let's.
Who pays that salary? Can you imagine Justice League W-2? Yeah. So welcome to Justice League. We got benefits. We get healthcare. We highly
Batman and someone on Reddit said Batman and Green Arrow, which is what I thought. But the Justice League is actually funded by a unique UN charter that accords certain rights and sizable budget to the heroes, which makes sense because if you watched any of the most recent season of Young Justice, a lot of the drama in the most recent Young Justice season was about Lex Luthor becoming president of the UN, or the head of the UN Council, and creating problems with the Justice League being able to save people, essentially. Because the UN is basically who slaps their hand in the event that they do more than they're supposed to be doing. So
basically the Accords from Civil War.
That's precisely what it is. That is precisely what it is.
Huh. Guess Captain America was right. People with agendas change. Well, back to the new heroes. So here's the thing. There's a lot of controversy coming up with this because if you might be thinking this is supposed to be a parody. However, they are completely serious. So for those that are uninitiated, let me run down the lineup here. So our first big one is Screen Time. Now, he is the newest warrior, very Gen Z.
Yes. Yes.
Now he's described as a super teen obsessed with memes. With a connection that he can connect his brain to the internet thanks to experimental internet gas. This is real. This is not a parody or a commentary. This is real. Our next slots on the team, we have Snowflake. Say that again. We have Snowflake and Safe Space. Now, Snowflake and Safe Space are twins with psychic powers. Safe Space is a jock who can generate defensive force fields. Meanwhile, Snowflake is non-binary and can create snowflake-shaped shuriken. So they're twins, offensive defensive combinations. One's a jock, one's non-binary. Again, not a parody. Be negative. Contrary to his nemesis, Be Happy.
that was uncalled for. That was also a terrible joke, and I apologize for laughing at it because that was super low hanging fruit. That fruit wasn't even hanging. That fruit fell from the tree.
Yeah, and no one else felt this comic. Someone wrote this up and said, "Let's do this," because Be Negative is a vampire, and the last one, the only one I'm interested to see how her powers work is Trailblazer, because she's got a magical backpack that can access pocket dimensions. Did I mention that she was pretty thick? Because that's a thing that everyone's talking about.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of controversy around this. I don't know why. Pronounced first non-binary superhero. The first thick superhero. I don't know. What do you think, Lord? What are people really upset about with this comic?
Well, see, the problem is there are two extremes here because you have crappy people on both sides. That's the problem that you have. You have the extremes of both sides where you have people who are like, oh, well, these social justice warriors, blah, blah, blah. No pun intended. Trying to take over our medium or whatever.
Social justice new warriors.
Yeah. And so you have them yelling, and then you have like the super liberal side of things where it's like, I don't even know. Like it's
well, I can understand where the liberal side is, at least on the liberal.
I know. So this is what I'm trying to say. So first and foremost, I have a problem with stuff like this. One, as a minority, one as a member of a typically marginalized community, I have problems with stuff like this. Because if you listen to according to the writer, one of the major reasons, I'm talking about specifically Snowflake and Safe Space. He said that the reason why, the reason why, and I believe that this is basically a quote from In Universe. The reason why Snowflake has, they chose their names is because it's supposed to be ironic, and it's supposed to be like a joke. It's like it's supposed to be taking this name that usually is diminutive and trying to make something strong out of it. Like, I mean,
yeah, but that's like it breaks the fourth wall, and it's two fourth.
No, it's not even fourth wall breaking. The problem is that it's like it's a stretch to me, because one, I don't feel like it's very creative. I could see. It would be. What I feel like it would be hilarious and it would be cool. I feel like is if that was like their nickname, right? If that was like their nickname, somebody called them Snowflake. But I'm like that Snowflake and Safe Space, and then Screen Time.
Screen Time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't sound like it just sounds like this. It just sounds like a joke. And like if it's supposed to be like, I get it's a comic. But I'm like, if it's supposed to be, if there's supposed to be like some level of like representation or something like that, I would be pissed. Now, mind you, this is the same comic book publisher that in like the 60s created a character called Black Panther.
And we don't know how that one turned out.
All we have to do at this point is just wait another 40 years, and then there's going to be a blockbuster movie with the first non-binary superhero. But I don't have that much time. See, because what this, to me, I don't care about like the outrage of like social justice warriors and all this, all these labels that people put on it, and the internet arguing back and forth. And my problem is that with large publishers and large companies like this, what you usually have is what this is to me is pandering. It's people saying, we want this demographic to pick up what we're creating, so let's make something that they will like. And I think that's the thing to me that is frustrating from a creative standpoint, and also just from like a good media standpoint. Now, I'm not saying anything like I'm gonna be honest, I haven't read the New Warriors. I haven't read these new releases, so I don't know like the quality of the storylines. But
Do they have a? Do they have an issue out yet?
Yeah, it isn't. Yeah, it's. But the thing is this: like it looks great. You know, it's. I mean, but that's what I would expect from a AAA comic publisher. Like it looks great. The artwork is wonderful. The character designs are really cool. The twins complement each other, the color palettes and all that stuff, like their outfits. Like it looks good. Like it looks dope. But yeah, I just feel like, but again, it's this pandering that is really annoying for me, because you see this all the time. And like my thing is, like, if you're going to create, like, I feel like inclusion, like pandering does not equal inclusion to me. Pandering is not, creating diversity. Pandering is saying, we want your money and we want your support, so like let's give this to you.
And this feels completely shameless in like how they're doing it.
And my thing is, yeah. I mean, and it could be. Like ultimately,
it feels absolutely shameless.
And I think that
absolutely.
Because my thing
shameless.
is, like, geez, if you want to create, because what you need, because this is a little bit of a tangent, but if you want to create like good inclusive content, like look at stuff like Steven Universe. Like regardless of like how you feel about like the I guess the writing of Steven Universe or the design or even of Steven Universe, whatever. I think Steven Universe is a great show in terms of like creating like real characters where it's not like, hey, look at this thing that we're doing that's inclusive. Like Steven Universe, like Rebecca Sugar, like she created characters that were good characters first and foremost, that were representative of different ethnicities, of different cultures, of different orientations, different things like that represented larger things, right? That was something where someone was, I feel like when you watch Steven Universe, it was someone who set out to make something good, and it reflected the world that she saw, that she experienced, that she lived in. Like, that's inclusivity. That's diversity. This is pandering, in my opinion.
No, I mean, like, I think you're absolutely correct. And I have not watched Steven Universe, so I'm not going to comment on the quality of the show. But from what I understand, the episodes that they had, all the songs are original, created from the team, right?
Yeah, and I mean, like when you look at the cast even of Steven Universe, like you have Estelle, like she is a musician. She voices Garnet on the show, like one of the main characters, and she even performs like some of the songs and stuff like that on there. But like I feel like you look at that is something that's genuine. That's something where like people are actually like, I feel like that's art, right? Like that's art. This, like I said, is pandering. And Marvel,
it feels kind of scummy when you read this. Like for anyone that's like, if anyone that's listening to this, you can Google this. You can see some of the arguments are going back and forth. But if anyone has been called a snowflake, first off, you're soft. No. But in all seriousness, though, the term is derogatory, and for it to be associated with a character that's non-binary, something that's been used derogatory on someone that's defining their lives, feels kind of just a slap in the face. Like here's representation, take it. And I can understand people are upset.
Yeah.
I can understand people are upset. I can understand why. However, just don't buy the comic.
I mean, that's what's going to happen. But yeah,
I mean, no one's buying comics because in other news, comic sales are down, and comic shops around the world are shutting down due to the pandemic. So, the Earth did it for you guys. Congratulations. Someone's looking out for you. But you know who else is looking out for us? apparently celebrities. Because you know what celebrities needed? They needed their own private or public platform to do short form mobile video stuff. You can watch Will Smith, Keanu Reeves, Kardashians, with this new thing called a Quibi. Winston, you know what a Quibi is?
What the f***'s a Quibi?
Well, what's a Quibi? For those that don't know what a Quibi is, because I didn't know, I don't know if Lord knew what this is, it's an up-and-coming American short-form media platform, and it sounds like TikTok. It sounds like TikTok and YouTube rolled into one, but it's only for the cool kids. Like, it's something we can slap our name on. Like, how do you even sign up to be on Quibi? Like, do you have to have a certain amount of clout?
It would seem like it. First of all, I just want to say that I've been seeing ads for this everywhere. And as a contrarian, in the purest sense of the word, I am definitely not going to buy your product if I see the ads everywhere.
Oh, you're saying that if you oversaturate it and you just bombard me with your ads, it's going to turn me off from your product?
Yes, I think that is what I'm saying.
Holy crap.
First of all, Quibi comes from John Katzenberg. So if people don't know who John Katzenberg is, he is a man who used to work for Disney, got fired from Disney, he got let go from Disney because they chose Eisner or whatever his name is over him to be the next CEO of Disney. So he left Disney and he founded DreamWorks with Steven Spielberg and some other guy. Which was a bold move. And he's the guy that brought you things like Shrek, which is very obvious that he was salty with Disney with all of the shade that he throws in that movie.
That makes way more sense.
Knowing
that information.
So this is the backstory. This is one of the main guys behind Quibi. And so what I can tell you is, I don't know. I could be wrong. Okay. I'm just a young man, 27 years of age, who is just looking out into the world and analyzing what I see. But I'm fairly certain that I'm right in this point in saying that the origin of Quibi probably came from people saying, what types of stuff do people like that we can make money off of? And they looked at things like TikTok. They looked at things like YouTube. They looked at Instagram Live and all this stuff. And were like, they like short videos. And it was probably this idea that, young people, especially Gen Zers, don't have the attention span to sit down and watch long form TV shows, right? And they were like, well, let's make 10-minute TV shows. Let's make really quick videos. And let's get a bunch of celebrities to make them. And that's probably where Quibi came from. And that was the birth of Quibi. Because I think that... So the tagline for Quibi is quick bites, big stories. And so Quibi comes from quick bites. And so it's supposed to be these quick little videos, quick little serial shows that people can just pick up and jump into. And it's supposed to be this streaming service. I don't feel like this is going to take off.
No, I don't even understand what I'm buying. Because everything that they could put on Quibi, I could just get off of YouTube for free. And the other dozen video platforms that are still free. And the full program that I pay for, like Hulu and Netflix, for a good 30 minutes. Like, they're getting people, like the people that have already signed, they have like Kevin Hart, Reese Witherspoon, Bill Murray, Idris Elba, The Rock, really anyone that has an IMDb page, right? And they're only creating like 5 to 10 minutes of content. Now, it doesn't tell you what kind of content, well, at least from the research, it can be from they're walking down the street just talking to you. They could be at the casino. They could be making some breakfast. They could be doing whatever. It's created for you to just kill time. And it could teach you some things, I guess. But you can already do that? already, right? Or did I miss something?
I think we missed something.
Who is this for?
So this is the thing. It's supposed to be for us. It's supposed to be for millennials. We are millennials. And I don't want this shit.
I don't want it. I don't ask you, like, who'd you talk to? Because they were probably trolling you.
That is according to LA Times. It's supposed to be for millennials. It's supposed to be for millennials. If not, and my thing is
watching Quibi. I'm throwing
if it's
your
not
phone.
millennials, it's supposed to be. I would imagine that's supposed to be for Gen Zers, because their whole thing is we don't have the time for these long form shows, bruh. I can tell you, I can run down the entirety of my friends list outside of quarantine, and tell you about all the people who sit down and will watch an entire season, a 12 episode season of 1 hour episodes of their favorite show, if it's good enough, right? And not even if it's good enough. If it, like, I've seen people who sit down and will watch a trash season of a trash show with like 20 episodes
and defend it and sit down for the next season.
Right? No, I'm not even defend it. They'll tell you it's trash themselves.
But it's a guilty pleasure.
And I'm watching next season too, bitch. That's those.
I gotta see where the sense.
This is supposed to be who this is for, because Gen Zers, first and foremost, they're not paying. They're not in a position where they're paying for these subscriptions right now. Like, okay, maybe their parents are going to pay for it. Maybe.
Are they?
Your guess is as good as mine, my friend. But
I mean, like.
But what I can tell you is that
like,
Quibi is not going to be around. I don't think that Quibi is going to be around for a long haul. It's probably going to get bought up by something, or they're going to sell it to something else. It's going to become something else. But
for those that really want to purchase this, it launches April 6th. We're back next week. We're gonna see who actually bought this, and if it's you, tweet us and like how you like it, because like I'm genuinely curious if your parents dropped you on your head as a baby.
Well,
that was mean. I'm sorry.
We all have accidents. But yeah, that's a Quibi.
That was low hanging.
That's a Quibi.
That's our Quibi about the Quibi. Because speaking of low hanging fruit, or just going for what's easy, you know what Disney did? They did exactly that, and something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. With Frozen 2.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, Lord does not care for Frozen 2.
Look, all I'm
saying,
I
didn't really care for Frozen 1. I didn't really care for Frozen 1. To be honest with you, I heard one song on the radio, "Let It Go." Let it go, and half of you are singing it in your head. Now try and think about Frozen 2. There is no song in Frozen 2 that I've heard anyone sing, and I've heard mixed reviews about it. It's great for kids. All these movies are great for kids. But I don't think it did nearly as well as the first Frozen, because Frozen did gangbusters in the box office. Let's start with this. Lord, what was your take on Frozen 2? Because I know you loathe this movie.
I don't loathe the movie, but it was just a boring movie to me. I think the concept...
And the first one was exciting?
I mean, it was interesting at the very least. Like, I watched the first one. I hated Olaf, but yeah, I watched the first one. And the first one was pretty interesting. Like, but this one, it just seemed boring. It just seemed slow-paced. It was well animated, but I mean, it's Disney, so of course it was. But it just seemed boring and slow. The concept was interesting. They started talking about colonization, but it just seemed weak to me. Yeah.
that's exactly the review.
Basically, Frozen 2. Frozen 2 is basically a what had happened was movie for the Frozen universe. That's what it was. See, what happened was, my granddaddy, he went into the woods, and my dad had went with him, and then everybody just started dying from the forest or whatever. But then that's where my mom came from, and then my mom, she called out to the spirits, and they protected them right. Yeah, that's basically all Frozen 2 was.
Was that all?
That was all real story plot points.
Gee whiz.
Those were all story beats, and sure, it was a lot more. It was much more eloquent than that, but.
No, it wasn't.
Well, I mean, it's like
what you said was as eloquent as it probably is gonna get for anyone over the age of 12.
All I'm saying, man, is it was boring. I was not excited by the story, and I know that I'm not the prime demographic. But I loved his. As much as I have come to despise Disney as a corporation, I still love Disney movies. That's just how it is. It'd be like that, But they be on some bullshit.
Yeah, I'm looking at Frozen 2 stuff right now. Yeah, I didn't even bother to go see the movie. Now, mind you, I don't have kids, and I think it'd be really weird for a 27-year-old man to go see a movie that's demographic. Right. But the demographic might be a little weird.
That was also the reason why I didn't see it in theaters, because
that really young girls.
I could have possibly gone, with like my sister or like my niece or something like that, but I wasn't going to go see that movie with myself.
Can you imagine being in the theater by yourself and someone comes up to you and is like, "Sir, where are your children?" It's like you have to respond with, "I'm here by myself."
All you gotta do is be like, office? "They're not here yet."
What about the lady at the ticket? What about the lady at the ticket booth? One ticket for Frozen 2, please. I want the night show.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah.
No, dog.
Yeah, that's the reason why I didn't go.
I do not need that on my name. Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, I wasn't going.
But while we're talking about movies, because I don't like the thought of either of us going to go see a movie made for little girls. There's a movie that was made for young women, but also older men, comic book enthusiasts. Not the best intro I've ever come up with, I'll admit that. But Black Widow.
Oh man, this is the perfect movie. This is the perfect movie to have come out in 2011.
Right though?
Yeah, like why I'm glad that Black Widow is finally getting her movie, but why in 2020?
In the plot that they're taking, they could have easily done this after Winter Soldier. Easily. It actually would have fit perfect because we would have had content of what she had been doing since Winter Soldier in Civil War. We would have known, and it probably would have given us more context of why she feels the way that she does in doing what she does.
Don't get it.
Because some of my gripes with Civil War was that she was playing both sides at all times, and I was like, girl, pick a side. I don't know, Tony, why do you trust this woman at all? At all. But I think they could have easily put this early in the timeline. I almost kind of wish they did this movie instead of Captain Marvel, to be perfectly honest. Even though it might not have made sense, because it would have been filler. But you think about it, so was Captain Marvel.
Yeah, my whole thing is
and I stand by that.
I feel like it was super, first of all, you've had all of these women who have been superheroes in the Marvel Universe, and none of them get their own movie. And you wait until after Infinity War, after Black Widow has died in the universe, to give her own movie. Why, though? But why?
And we don't know why. I mean, I can understand from a wrong producer standpoint, because he's wrong for not having done that, because he wasn't sure how they would do. But I don't know why he would do Captain Marvel before a Black Widow movie. Because here's the thing, you could say it wouldn't have done well. That all goes the window when he did Captain Marvel, because Captain Marvel don't stand alone. It broke $1 billion.
Yeah.
Now I do think that the only reason why it did was because Infinity War, and then it was between Infinity War and Endgame. But they could have easily had this movie, but prior to that, not all the Marvel movies were fantastic. Did I go see them all? 100%. Were they all something right, Holderbaum?
I mean, let's. I didn't go see either of the Thor movies, but the first two Thor movies.
I was gonna say they should be all three. There were 3, I remember.
Oh, I forgot about the second one.
Now look, with Thor, having rewatched it, I do like the first Thor movie. I actually don't think it's that bad of a movie. I don't think it's as bad as I remembered. I think it's actually pretty good.
Well, yeah, the first one isn't terrible.
I stand by that. It's not, no, I think it's actually pretty good. Odin's still an asshole. Like, I really think that he's just the biggest villain of them all.
Odin is an ass. Odin is just an ass in general. Odin has been catching. You want to talk about mythologies that have been catching L's? Odin has been catching L's for like the past decade, from the Thor movies and the most recent God of War movie, the God of War video game. Odin has been catching L's.
Dude's been a douche though. I kind of deserve it. He's the kind of person that would like slash tires in your car and then try to tell you that it's a lesson in itself, and that's ultimately your fault. After he drove you out to the store for something for him to buy, but he also has his own car. He drives himself home, but leaves you to pick up the 2 tires with no money. That's Odin. That's Odin in my head. Like only one of you can be on the throne. Okay, so you're gonna just pit us against each other. Thanks, Dad. Oh, by the way, one of you's adopted. I'm not gonna tell you about that. Oh, thanks, Dad. I don't know. Just I wanted to protect you. Yeah, you locked my sister in hell after conquering all the 9 realms.
Yeah, that was like that's a convenient plot point to just completely leave out. Like, oh yeah, you do have an older sister. Oh yeah, all of the realms that we are in charge of, yeah, it's because of her. My bad.
It's because of them. Because of them. It's like, Father, why do we rule the 9 realms? Oh, you left out the part, Dad, where we invaded all the 9 realms, and then
what had happened was
us be slaughtered.
Oh, see, what had happened was, we had went out into a forest, and then the Earth started attacking.
Bro, like when I watched Ragnarok again, I was sitting there, I was like, I'm kind of with Hela on this one. Like, I feel bad for her. She's like, because in her eyes, what she was doing is what the status quo has always been. Like, it's always been that way.
That's what it was about. He's like, you think I'm just gonna stop just because you got a conscience now, Odin? I was created for this.
Right? You made me this way. He's like, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I wish I could roll that back.
Roll that back. And it was like, I felt bad for her. I really did. Like, they didn't spend enough time like building her up by the time they spent up. I was more mad at Odin than I was at Hela. Because Hela came back confused.
Also, like, Odin just goes and dies. Like, I get that it was because Anthony Hopkins was like done with the series at that point. He was like, bro, I don't want to do this. And so it was like, well, we got to find a way to kill him. And so the motherfucker just died. Like, he was just like, well, I guess I just don't want to be around anymore, and just left.
Just dipped after a millennia. Just I'm out, dog.
I'm like Odin. Don't you have an all-seeing eye? Like, can't you? Like, Odin probably could have stopped the Infinity War.
He could have done a lot of things. He probably saw what Thanos was doing way before he became senile, and was just like, I'm just gonna chill here. Like, just chill here. Just like the history. Like, let's conveniently leave out the part where I slaughtered millions to gain power across.
Well, hey man. Realms. You do what you got to do to cover your butt in Asgard.
Oh man, so honorable, the honorable Odin. But like, if they can have 3 movies where they have that big of a douche be one of the pinnacle characters, you mean to tell me Black Widow couldn't have risk getting their own movie?
Because they're not ready. They weren't ready for it. And the wildest thing is, like, of all the times, like in the midst. I feel bad for the production of Black Widow, because for all of this, for this to be happening in the middle of a quarantine, like this just does not bode well. Because at this point, they're moving up all of the other Marvel movies so that this one can take the next movie's place. That's basically what's happening right now. So
it's just a bad call, and I love Scarlett Johansson to death. I really wish she should have got her own movie a long time ago. She should have got it before Black Panther. Like, for real though, she, like, before Civil War or after Winter Soldier, she should have had it. It's way overdue. She should have had it way before Captain Marvel had her movie, and I stand by that. Speaking of strong female characters, I want to talk about Mulan, because Mulan was another movie that got pushed back quite a bit. But they made some changes to that movie, And I'm excited for it, but I want to see where they go with it. Because here's some things that I heard. Well, first off, I saw the commercial for it. And I saw her running across the wall. And I was thinking, Disney didn't do any of that. Like, she's actually whooping some ass. Like a lot of it, too. And I'm like, this is not in the movie. Well, this wasn't a Disney movie. But they made some other changes as well. Besides making her an actual, like, fighter, they also took out, before I say his name wrong again, they took out, I want to say Shank so badly. I don't know why.
His name is Shang.
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 Shang. They took out Shanks from One Piece because Mulan was on her way to try to become
so
Hokage of the pirates. On her search to collect all 9 balls.
So Shang is not there. I mean, that's they're trying to make it. It's funny because they're like, we're trying to make it more historically accurate. When Mulan isn't even like a real person. It's not like Mulan. It's argued whether or not she's a real person. So
no historian sitting there. No historian was sitting there.
Like, let me tell you how this has been inaccurate.
What had happened was
I respect that they're getting that they're actually getting Chinese actors to play the roles. Oh my gosh, yes. Because when you said,
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that?
Like we've got Scarlett Johansson in the role of Mulan, of Fa Mulan. Jesus,
bro. Someone make a meme of that right now, please. If you're listening to this, please. If you know someone can make a meme, Mulan starring Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Circle it around the internet.
Yeah. Thank God they have an actually Chinese cast. So like that. I mean, that's good. But I'm looking forward to it because it actually looks like it's going to be dope.
I am disappointed they're not going to bring in Eddie Murphy in any sort of fashion. He didn't have to be a dragon. I thought them taking out the whole dragon aspect was fine because they wanted to make it more realistic. I thought that was fine. I wanted there to be a spiritual like aspect, and I hope what they do, like as a surprise, is that there is some kind of voice that's pushing her that isn't the voice of Eddie Murphy. I think that would be fantastic. If they don't, I'm not mad about it because I understand what they're trying to do, make it more realistic. But what a missed opportunity, I would think. Just her and her voice being Eddie Murphy, the spirit of the dragon was always in her, as her family's spirit animal.
Bruh,
it was never an external thing. It was always within.
I feel that, but Eddie Murphy in the original, that's fine. In the original because it was what it was, but this one, it just wouldn't make any sense.
She can't have an internal voice.
Like everybody in this movie is Asian. Everybody in this movie is Asian, and it's supposed to be there's not gonna that just would not make any sense at all.
I just want his voice. I want him sitting behind it. Can you imagine that? Eddie Murphy.
And this is supposed to be serious. This is supposed to be a lot more serious. And he'd be in the middle of like everybody just died. And Eddie Murphy was like, "See, I told you that you was supposed no."
or maybe Mulan has a stand now and it's Eddie Murphy.
Bruh, if they did a Mulan JoJo's Bizarre Adventure crossover, I would go watch that.
I would go give him props for that.
I would be in that theater, front row seats. Well, not front row seats because I usually sit up top, but I would be in there, got my popcorn and Coke and everything. I'm ready to go. That
I'd spend money on that.
That would be, bro. If they did
that'd be pretty. That'd be pretty hype. A Mulan JoJo's crossover with Mushu being her stand.
If they cut off the Han's head and replaced it with Dio's head.
Oh, that's actually what happens after
first
the First
we
War.
take China, then the world.
If you're listening to this, Disney, make it happen. You're already doing crossovers with Square Enix. Might as well just expand a little bit. Why the heck not? Like, what other princess would have a stand? Like, low key, like what other princess would have a stand? Like, Cinderella could have the mice, or she could have the godmother. Her stand's the godmother. Yeah, so Cinderella got the godmother stand. Mulan's got a dragon or Mushu. I guess Jasmine
it would have to be a tiger or something like that. And see, that's the other thing, because they all have to be like named after a song or something like that. Eye of the Tiger would be Jasmine's stand.
That's actually pretty hype. That's actually pretty hype.
Yeah,
dude, we should do a we should draw a tournament arc of princesses with stands. Yeah, that'd be pretty hype. A Disney princess JoJo's crossover tournament arc, just to show all their powers.
That would be, bruh.
That'd actually be pretty hype. I know we joke a lot.
The Disney princess, the Disney X JoJo fighting game.
Dude, that'd actually be pretty hype. Like, put all these characters in Marvel vs. Capcom too.
Dope. I would play this.
I'm writing this idea down. I'm taking this one. This is
I'm gonna take that to turn.
This is a Ranger original.
We're taking that to tournament level.
Yeah, that's a. Ooh, I'm already thinking of the combos.
I would be in there. I would pay for that. Speaking of things that one would pay for, Final Fantasy VII, the remake.
The remake. Did you beat the original?
Yeah, I beat the original years after it came out.
Now, what's new about this game besides graphics, I guess? Are they adding any new content?
The battle system is completely overhauled. So the battle system is a lot more reminiscent of Final Fantasy 15, where it's like kind of like it's kind of like that active. It's a much more active battle system. Where you can still kind of like stop it, and there are still some active time elements to it. There's still that ATB element to it, but yeah, the gameplay is completely overhauled, and it does look it is HD remastered. So it is essentially like a different game. Now, story wise, of course, it's still Final Fantasy VII, so I don't think it's going to be anything new in terms of like story. But yeah, it does look dope. And for someone who is, I'm not like a huge fan of Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII is cool. I respect it for what it is. You know, it introduced JRPGs, you know, to a wider Western audience. But ultimately, the remake makes me actually want to buy it.
Oh, so this is
a buy. Yeah, I'm going to buy this at some point. I'm going to play it. So, probably in the next couple weeks. So before
the pandemic ends or after?
Before. It was supposed to be. So it was originally supposed to be coming out this month, but I think it's coming out in like October or whatever. So we got some time before it's there. But, yeah, this is going to be a buy for me. Pre-orders are actually happening right now. This might be one that I like. If there's like a steel box set or something like that, I might spring for that. Who knows? But yeah, this is definitely worth it to buy, in my opinion. Because they completely redid the game in terms of the mechanics. The battle system looks dynamic. It looks dope. It looks action packed. It looks like it's tactical. Visually, it just looks amazing. All Square Enix games look amazing. It's the gameplay where it tends to differ for me, but the gameplay sometimes, and the story, especially in Kingdom Hearts 3, but mechanically it looks dope. Visually it looks dope. The Final Fantasy VII story is great. In my opinion, I think that's one of the strongest suits. That was one of the strongest suits of the original, was that the story was really good. There's not just the twist that Aerith dies at the end, but
spoiler alert.
Bro, if you don't know that Aerith dies at this point in your existence as a video game player, then I don't know what to tell you.
It's when all grown men.
But yeah, there's also the whole Cloud's identity and all that stuff. That was, I felt like that was by the time I played it, that was a bigger twist to me than Aerith dying, because at that point, everybody had already spoiled that, and that was before the advent of the internet like we have today. So yeah, well,
it was groundbreaking. You didn't see that coming.
That's what I'm saying. I respect it for what it was at the time. There have been much bigger video game twists than that in recent years, but yeah, it was dope. It was dope, man.
Now, speaking of buys, let's follow back up with Persona 5
Already
Royale.
got it. Already got it.
Fantastic.
Goodness gracious. Yeah. So for people who know me, know that I'm a huge fan of Persona 5. I'm currently in the process of making a video on it. It should be out this weekend. Or this past weekend. Where can
they find the video, by the way?
Analyzing the game. Because this as we're recording this will probably be released on Monday afternoon. But yeah, Persona 5 is one of my favorite games. I'm not going to say that I'm a Shin Megami Tensei fan. And I'm not I am, but I am a Persona fan. I really like the stories, and the lore for it. But Persona 5 is just leaps and bounds beyond the other games in terms of gameplay and some of the aesthetics and the design. So, and then Persona 5 Royal, which is essentially an overhaul / remake of the original, was released this past Tuesday. And so I bought that one day one because I have to. And it is there's a ton of stuff added to this game. There are new characters added to it. There's a whole bunch of different story elements added to it. There are subplots added to it. And there are different personas added to it. It's really cool. So another definite. I bought it already, but I feel like it's a definite buy. What I will say, so for people who are not into JRPGs, who are not into RP, the typical, grinding experience and different things like that. First and foremost, there wasn't a ton of grinding that I had to do in the first one, and from what I understand, there's not a ton that has to be done in this one. But there are typical JRPG elements to it. So if you're not an RPG, turn-based JRPG type of person, I wouldn't play it. Also, if you don't like longer games, because on average, Persona 5 probably takes about 80 to 90 hours to complete. I could complete it in less than that just because I've played it before. I played through the first Persona 5. I've played through the first Persona 5 4 times already. So for me, it's easy for me to just sit run through. I can come back to it. But I can see if you're not into the super long, elements of Persona, there are different scenes where you're spending time with characters and investing in their stories and different things like that. I would stay away from it. If it's not for you, I totally understand people who aren't into that type of gameplay. But if you are huge into technical RPGs, and you're huge into character building, huge into especially deep story RPGs and kind of psychological thrillers and concepts and things like that, I would definitely pick up Persona 5. If you don't know, so I wouldn't necessarily say that you would have to shell out for Persona 5 Royal. You can buy the original Persona 5 right now for $20 on the PlayStation Network, and I'm sure that you could pick up a hard copy for about that much if you wanted to. So with that being said, you can there's an opportunity for you to dip your toes in the water of Persona and see if it's for you. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But I definitely think that anyone who is a big JRPG type person, anyone who's like a relationship sim type person, someone who's into like kind of like quirky out there gameplay, deep stories, kind of psychological, thriller type stuff, I think that you would like that. So that is my recommendation of Persona 5.
Buy it. It's amazing.
It's a great game.
Buy it again. But that's fantastic, though. That's fantastic. I think it's something that everyone should probably pick up, both Royale and Final Fantasy VII, if you are a fan of RPGs in any sort of fashion. Good stories, regardless,
and good game.
And what else are you gonna do in this pandemic?
You got time,
Eat?
Come on, like 80 hours. 80 hours. You can get that in. You can get that in like 3 weeks. That's about how much time we'll be in at home, right?
Right? You do push-ups. I know that. Put your hands off yourself and on the controller. Put it on the right controller.
But on that note, I think it's.
I want to thank everyone again for tuning into this week's show. Why do we always end on something that's like just
because that's exactly where we should wrap up.
It's always right on the border. It's like I'm not sure if we're getting back this week, depending on how people take that last comment. But again, I want to thank everyone for tuning into this week's SLY Guys Lockdown Edition. This has been King of Dreams, the Ranger.
And I am Lord Third, #1 trash player. And we are the SLY Guys. And we hopefully have delivered some hot takes that are the hottest on all things nerdy and culture. And we will be back next week. We thank you all for being with us.
We'll be back.
With that, we are out.
Signing out.